to you people. You're the reason these producers are the ones that helped us create a massive week of production. Congratulations. It is obvious the Alliance is off and sprinting this year. I can't imagine. I remember what we did in March last year. I'm thinking this March is just going to be absolutely insane. We got everything organized on the arc better, and leads are crazy right now available. We got more people trained, more people educated, more people available. So there's no telling what kind of production is going to go through the roof in March. But this was a great week. Congratulations, guys. Nancy Soto, number 1. Luke Birchtold, is that how you say his last name, Bailick? Birchtold?
Got it, Birchtold is right.
All right, so he's the one you've been talking about. Submitted 27,000. He's brand new, right? Okay.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
And Greg, you saw on there as well for like 14,000.
Gregory Cook.
Yes.
That's his.
9 apps. He had 9 and Luke had 5. That's smoking right there. Well, we got a few minutes here together to kind of get this game plan going for this let's be the last week in February. Yes. Last week in February. Agency managers. Now's the time to decide what contest you're going to run for March. I suggest steak dinner at your house for the top 3 people that are within 3 or 4 hours. If one of your top 3 is somewhere 5 hours away or a different state, I would suggest you say, look, if you win it, we'll fly there, me and my wife, or I'll fly there, we'll go out to dinner, we're a nice place. Think agency managers, and if you're a key leader, I would do it too. So now you got your manager doing some kind of a promotion, and then you're doing some kind of a promotion. And you want to stop that stuff, Bailey, you're distracting people. Although you can show the ring. He does have a ring on it.
That's right.
The ring. Okay, there's the ring. There you go. Yeah. Okay, let's just be clear. Okay, so think about it, Bailick, Jason. Now's the time, because a lot of times when people wait and they go like, "Hey, it's too late to run a contest." Great, I've saved my money. Contests were meant to make you more money. Okay, so we are trying to figure out what we're going to do with our base, with the ABTF. If there's different segments we want to throw gas to, but every agency manager should be thinking, my agency manager, key leader should be thinking their hierarchy, what can we do? Because you want to announce it in time for them to buy their leads and juice everything before the 28th. You follow what I'm saying? So you want to have it planned, top 10, where you're going to eat, what you're going to do, stickers, steaks, bottles of wine, whatever it is, NAA hats, whatever it is. Think in terms of top 10 people get something, top 3 get something special, and it's that recognition every week. You texting it out, putting it on our band. You're welcome to put it on Albright Communication. Give them recognition. Say that my base, these are the top 10 are in my base. This is the top 10, the top 3 in my base. And give them recognition on the band. It gets people on band. It gives them that recognition that was worth more than money. And then the anticipation of going to eat with you or hanging out. And it's association more than giving away $200 worth of leads. I would also taking people to a Ruth Chris or a nice steakhouse that they've never been to or that they never would waste that money. I would invest that money in them. Where's my remote? I was thinking about James is over there hollering right, and where's he at? Right there, James. So James over there hollering right. I was down in Louisiana, and I had carriers. I had Carrier I was meeting with and a couple other people, and James was not invited to that dinner, but he was over there with a group of just as many his agents, and he was buying dinner and taking care of them. And, Bo, I went over there to him and tell you what, bro, it looked like Reba, my dog, had been over there and cleaned up them plates for them. But they was sopping them things. One boy had a bone. He had it in his mouth. And these guys are kicking butt, selling tremendous amounts of insurance, especially that one guy. And so a lot of times you'll invest over here, you'll invest over here and it'll grow over there. All right. I've got several guests. I want them to talk about what's going on in their organization. These people that I have on the call, I think they know what's in this book, and I think they know a lot more. They've picked up on little things, little details. There's so much in here, Amir, that I wish people would. I was telling Robbie this late last night after our call. By the way, we had like 160 people on a conference call last night. Thank y'all for listening in, and I thought it was a good call. We got a lot accomplished. But me and Robbie Kraft were talking afterwards, and I was like, I wish people would read this again and start studying this and teaching with it. This is perfect with the new system, the compensation, the glow. It's just so on track for building your business if you learn what's in here. And I am a freak about trying to find out ways to simplify my life, make it easier to get to the top, have more power, more money, so that I can give it to my son, so that I can give it to my buddy Balick, so I can put it there on Swindale. I want to have it so I can do with it. And I want you to have it. I want you to have it, Tia, so you can do with it over your children, and so y'all can take us somewhere. It's doing back and forth when you have it. The stuff is in here. I got a book here that I cannot promote because it is out of print and it was $200. It's a secret book. But I want to read you something out of it. I just like flipping through books. Like I flip through my book and go, oh, that's right. People like people that like people. Because people ask me, they go like, what does people like? Why do I get people to like me? And I go, have you ever heard this, Amir? People like people that like people. So here's how you get them like them. That's like them. So you like them, you go like, I like that about you. Like, I like that jacket, Jason. What is that? 19, Jason Carey. What's up with that jacket? Let me see. Pull it, just lean in just a little bit. What is that? Not that Arrow 1987. I'm going like, 1987 was a great year. That's when I graduated college. 86, 87, right in there, and got my own life. Didn't have to go to classes no more. You with me? People say like, that don't work. It works on me. Does it work on you? Ashland, does that work on you?
Yes, sir.
Does somebody go, cool earrings?
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. People like people that like people, but it's just reminding of that stuff. And then people like it if you hate their enemies. So all this stuff is in books, and think about this. Animals don't have the ability to tell each other where the stickers are or where you get sick or how things work. So each new doggy has to get bit by a snake. He has to go through falling off the cliff. He has to walk on the broke glass because he can't read books. So you're like an animal that if you don't read and you don't think of all the ways that you can know stuff without having to experience it. So you may not think this is interesting, or you may like me and like, wow, that's interesting. But this is out of that book. It says cards, deck of cards. Cards have always been associated with fortune telling. And I was like, I don't know. I know it's magic, but fortune telling. Since they were designed around the days of the year. Okay, how many are going like, I knew that? James says yes. I got 0. Okay, so I have not fact-checked this. Okay? The 4 suits correspond to the 4 seasons. The 52 cards to the 52 weeks of the year. And the total of all the values in the deck is 366, which is the maximum days in a year. Can anybody dispute that right now? Any of y'all, can anybody dispute? I can't dispute. I can't verify either, and I will do both. Like if I hear like people, if I see it in the Bible, if I see it in Think and Grow Rich, I hear John Maxwell say it. If I hear a poor person say it, I'm like, yeah. Because I don't care. I just like, whatever. I'm like, nice. A lot of people listen to poor people. And I always tell people, look at the source. Do they have friends? Do they have power? Do they have bank account? Do they have their name on a building? Do they have their own car? You with me? Are their shoes really bad, scuffed up? You with me? So, but here's the part that's interesting. The 10 numbers leading to the 3 court cards correspond to the 10 hidden stages of each lunar cycle that culminate in the 3 viewable or royal stages of the moon's jersey that we can see. That part I know is incorrect because he said, I say this to see if they will keep nodding. I just think that's cool. You with me? Like this is a mentalist, a guy that can read minds and get people to think stuff. It's just, and it's crazy. And it's I know it's worth something because it's $200, right? Right. Books don't cost $200. Right. And the person that told me about it knows stuff. Okay. You with me? And I was like, oh, secret information. This is secret information to most people because they haven't read it. Or they read it and they don't know it. You might as well not read it if you ain't going to know it. And the only way I know something is keep going back to it and studying it. You tracking with me? Up in here? Yes. Up in here? Up in here. Okay. All right. You might not think it's interesting. I'm going to read the book. I'm fired up about it. I already read a couple things. I'm like, ooh, I see how that works. Okay. Along those lines, if you would show people how this works and then test them on it. You with me? Get them this. Oh, this is big money right here, baby. Big money because of big commissions. Okay? So if you will take that and go through with them how to calculate their commissions and understand their money, we have a gold mine on our hands. Educate your people. Make sure I use this right here. And by the way, if y'all notice I do this all the time, Bailey. All my stuff, I got tons of stuff right here, right? I got tons, reachable. You with me? I can just pull out stuff. Okay? This is the agent guide that I can show people the commission grid in here. Right? We've got it right here. And then here's the 1-pager. Educating people, and the first thing you show them is how to get to agency manager. You don't show them how to get to 55. They already figured that out. Show them how to get to 85 and show them the power of that. And then show them how to get to 80, which is just accumulation of value. But they got to start their network because the end game is above 85 because that's where that glow bonus kicks in. All right. The other thing you want to show, I found somebody today, he's all fired up. He's never seen what the 642 means. He said, nobody showed me that before. And I was like, shoot. So there's a 642 on band that shows when you're making 20 grand, when you're selling 20 grand a month. Have you seen that, Bailey? When you're selling 20 grand a month, or when you're selling 30 grand a month and you get 6 people to hire 4 people to hire 2 people. It ends up being 79 people. That'll get you a lot of money. I can't remember what the numbers are. I got them on here. Actually, I posted them on band, what 20 grand and 30 grand do. Okay. Reminders to managers. Contest March. Let's get it started. Let's think about it so that we can announce it before next Thursday. Jeremy Patton, are you with us? Jerry, speak up. Let me see if I can hear you, Bob.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay. I'm hearing great things about your group. Crazy stuff going on. And Paul Roberts is bragging on you. Tell me what's happening, some stats, some names, and then any concept on how it's happening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Andy Albright. Thank you for having me on this call. Thank you, Paul Roberts. Golly. First of all, Paul wanted me specifically to tell you how much he loves you and how you changed his life. And that right there is a big reason we're growing right there, is his love for you, which goes through the whole organization. And I love you and I appreciate you. And big things that are happening right now is I just finally just said, hey, I'm just going to do what Paul does. I'm going to copy Paul. I'm going to study Paul. I'm going to study Andy Albright. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm not going to complicate it. And yeah, I'll give you an example. I mean, right now, things are exploding in all of our organization. North Houston on fire, that hot spot. One of the biggest keys to, I believe, the success right now, it's the community, the hot spots. You said it at one time, the hot spots, the heart of the alliance. And Paul Roberts has always said, hey, when you start a hot spot, it's a process. Commit to that process. It could take a year, it could take 2 years, it could take 3 years, but commit to it. And I know when we started North Houston, we averaged about 10 folks a week. Now we're on a low week, we have 35 and typically up to 50 people plus now, growing like crazy. And I think that's a big part of that's just building that community, which is focused on love. People want to be there, and it's just so refreshing. New people come in every single week, and you can see the light bulbs going off in their head. There's just something different about these people. There's just something different, and we're inviting them back. You had mentioned that on a call before. How often are you actually inviting people back? And we get, it's like church in a way. It really is. We really are slowing down to get more done, and really noticing people. And just take North Houston, for example. I know Ken and Ann out there in North Houston are blowing up. This month, there'll be over 40,000 issue paid in that leg, and that's just the beginning. And just over the last 6 weeks, I know we've identified and hired a guy by the name of Keith. Keith, young, married, has a baby. He's from Turkey originally. He works hard. He's got hard work. He's got work ethic. He's got character, and he's out there killing it. He's only been with us for about 6 weeks. He's selling, recruiting, and we're building. We're already 5 deep in that leg in 6 weeks. And just kind of thinking about what's happened, it's just focusing on what Paul's doing, focusing on what you're doing, and driving depth. He's just in the last 2 weeks, he asked me, how do you do referrals? And I said, how do you listen to James Coleman? And he listened to it, and then he actually went out and did it. And then within a week and a half, he had 181 ERS referrals. At the same exact time, we're calling his list of names. Keith hired a friend of his that he's known for more market list. We called his list, found Ross and Kate. And actually, Kate, she just passed her test, I think about a week ago. And she's waiting on her license. But immediately, a few weeks ago, we started helping her build. And now Kate already has two people in her organization that have already submitted business. One that's already issued business, and she still doesn't have her license. And it keeps getting better, and just keeps getting better and better and better. And so what's happening is we're keeping it simple, just like you talk about in the Green Book. And 5 deep over the last 6 weeks, I believe this organization, that first recruiting leg there, Ken and Ann, they'll be over $100,000 in premium here in the next 90 days. And it's happening. And I knew Paul always talked about it. He always said, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. And it's actually happening right now. Frisco is blowing up like crazy. I know Mike Rodriguez is bringing on some sharp folks. I know he'll be AM here in the next month or two. And then another gentleman I'm excited about, his name is Adam Reif, and he, U.S. Army, he was in Afghanistan, wounded warrior. You don't talk about it a whole lot, but he's a warrior. He doesn't talk a lot, but he just has hung around the community and came in. And when you hear somebody, Andy, I know you've probably heard it, but when he texts you, his heart's full of gratitude, and he says, Jeremy, I don't know where I'd be without you. I don't know where I'd be without this community. This community saved my life. And that's the purpose behind what we do. And more people, we're attracting more and more people that understand that are bought into, we love people, we serve people, we care for people. And Adam Reese, just hanging out in the office, he just got started in November. He got his license in the end of December. The last 4 weeks, he submitted over $25,000 in premium. Never been in life insurance. His experience is U.S. Army, military police, being in Afghanistan, and building a crazy, crazy team. Stats, the first half of this month, the first 2 weeks of this month, we're just under 80,000. We will exceed 160,000 this month. And we were literally this month almost doubling what we did last month. And I believe March will be pretty, I think we'll grow another 50% on top of what we did this month. And the how is keeping it simple. It's who's on the TWC, monitoring who do we have in hotspots. A big part of the growth is making sure everybody is on the same page, hearing what you're saying, Andy, following you, speaking the same language, being unified in not only what we're doing, but what we're saying. And really, a big goal of mine right now is having people follow Paul Roberts all around, follow you. I mean, it's almost like Paul said it, it's almost like how you say it? It's the momentum, we can't stop it now. People are just, it's like a magnet. And my heart's so full of gratitude. I couldn't be more excited about what's going on right now. And I really appreciate you. And my wife and I were just talking before the call. And, we are so grateful for you. I mean, she was just tears of gratitude. It's just amazing what's happening right now.
Brother, keep it simple. Right here,
That's it.
page 128, 126, and 127, the activity. How many people check on their people and say, look, dude, they try to turn into a psychologist, sociologist, and complicate the snot out of it. They go, Andy would try to fix them. Tim Goad would talk to him. Jeff Bright, hey, bro, I don't care how messed up a person is, this will work. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to fix your parents, your kids, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, nothing. You do this, print money. Does that make sense?
That's it.
I know money won't
Yes, sir.
fix everything, but it'll help the financial problems. And I help financial problems, it tends to free up other things. So, but take a picture of that and send it to them and say, take a picture of what you did. Keep it simple. What he's saying is Bear on? Phil Bear, are you here?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Hey, brother, who you got kicking butt? And first of all, tell them who you are and where you are and who you got kicking butt.
Well, my name is Phil Hebert. I'm here in Louisville, Texas, part of Paul Roberts' organization. First of all, I want to say, Andy, thank you for what you have done. Paul Roberts, thank you for what you have done. I don't think many people realize all the effort that you put in the previous years to get us to this point, to where somebody like me can jump in and have success, right? So everything that you've done up to this point, you'll always hear me say thank you. So I very much appreciate that. You guys you always say, all you can do is give the opportunity and show the example. You guys are the ultimate of that. You never stop. Paul Roberts never stops. I was just talking to Paul before this call, and he's game planning on how he can get out there in the field more and more. And I'm thinking, man, you're making $85,000 a month. You're a millionaire, and you want to find out how you can go faster, not how you can slow down. I think you're going to hear me say some of the things that Jeremy just said. And I think that's also another reason why Paul is growing so fast, because we're all on the same line. There's clarity between us. We believe in Paul Roberts. We believe in Andy Albright. We love Tim Goad. And our entire organization is saying that. There's nobody straying one way or the other. We're all on the same line. We're on the same path. This is my third year in the business. I think I'm a new person, so it's crazy this year, right? I've never had so many lists of names. I've never had so much momentum going into this year. We have Eric Cruz down in Austin that's growing like crazy, Eric and Randy Cruz. He's gotten so busy that he hired a full-time recruiter named Leticia Santos. Last month, she contracted 9 people. This month, she's on fire. We are finding some of the coolest people. We're not finding insurance people. We're finding people that belong in our community. We're finding people with the right heart, the right attitude, that see the big vision of what you've created and where we get head. We're finding people that want to take over the United States of America. There's a lady named Jilton Linton out of Oakland on Eric's team that, like, the TWC is powerful. When I first started in this business, I just wanted people to get on the TWC to learn your lessons and your teachings. Whether they joined the business or not wasn't my ultimate goal, but I knew the Alliance changes people's lives. And so I was talking to her the other day, and she's already quoting Andy Albright. She's already saying, hey, Phil, she's brand new, 2 weeks in the business, recruiting like crazy, giving a list of names. We're down her people. But she's already telling me that she's on the TWC. I don't even have to ask her to get on or tell her the importance of it. She's jumping on her own, and she's saying, that guy Andy's crazy, but I love him. And like, she's introducing us to some of the coolest people. She's already making plans to come from Oakland, California to Texas to hang out with us. So we're finding the people with the right heart. We're finding people that will go out there and put up the big sales numbers, but they're not salespeople. They have the right heart and the right attitude. G-Shot, George Andershot. I'll highlight him because right now he's my biggest leg. The first 2 weeks in the business, his leg is issue paid $35,000. First 2 weeks in this month, February, issue paid $35,000. I strongly feel that in the next 90 days, this will be a $150,000 leg with the momentum that we have going on. That leg goes 6 to 7 deep. Under George, we have Nancy Soto, who you heard her name this morning. We were on the phone last night talking about how we're going to take over. Right? We're talking about all the mess that we're going through and the mess of life. And I said, don't worry, that's temporary. But what we have is the Alliance. And she sees that. I don't have to put that in her. She already sees it. So I've never met somebody so grateful that she's very new herself. I think maybe 60 days in the business, and she's already out there putting up big numbers. But it's not because she's a salesperson. It's because she has a heart of gratitude. I was just thinking the other day, I was like, it's probably about time for Nancy, to get some A leads and get some brand new leads. I'm thinking about how can I help her out, give her some new leads. But I don't need to because she's doing all this production off of old leads, and she's grateful for it. She never complains. She sets 20 appointments a week. And I think that's a big reason of why she's having so much success. And then she's hiring like crazy. She's the spark of San Antonio right now. Every week I'm seeing her take pictures with 8 to 10 people of guests, new guests, returning people. She's finding people that are crazy. She's got Sharon McNeely under her that she just started with us, just got her license, dialed for the first time, set 8 appointments, and she's fired up today, texting this morning saying, hey, I'm excited.
Dr. Phil?
Yeah.
People are wondering, and I'm going to answer them.
Okay.
Find. I got this lady out there, she's like, Andy, how do you get people to find? So when you're talking to a person and they make all the excuses about their life, when you give them leads, they're going to copy that same excuse about life. That makes sense? Find people. When you're asking questions, you meet them, decide, is this a person who rips heads off or not? And encourage them to grab it and growl. Tell them you're looking for them so that they identify themselves. They got to know what you're looking for. People will rise or fall based on your expectations of them. I expect you to grab it and growl. But first, you got to see a trend there and say, continue this trend. I have talked to people and I go, whoa, I don't know if I want to get in near you because things have been going so bad in your life. And people say, like, you wouldn't say that, do you? I go, I have, because I don't want to be the next bad thing. I want people that overcome and win, overcome and win. Dr. Phil, you got great stuff going on. I got quite a few people here to get to. Carrie's, California. I understand Goodrich is working out there, the Lampe organization. I understand you guys are blowing up. The guys up in the Northwest, Kraus, and those guys have stuff going on down there. What's happening on the West Coast? And what time is it out there? So it ain't even light outside, is it?
It's early, but that's okay. Well, it's 7:30 right now, and we are so excited to be on this call. I had finished the hotspot in Los Angeles, and I saw an email that you had sent across early or late last night, and I was so excited to be here, so honored to be part of the activity call. And here's really how I can describe it. You put out a video the other day, Andy, Albright Access. It was episode 1, and I clicked on it because it was on band. And I must have rewatched that video that you guys put out about 50 billion times. It was such a short clip, and the first time I watched it, I was like, oh my, there's so much going on. I pulled out my notebook and I rewatched it again, and then I was sending it out to all my people. I was like, you guys got to check out this video because it described what we were trying to accomplish in the organization on the West Coast, which was leadership and focus. That was our biggest thing that we've been talking about, was leadership and focus, and how personal leadership and personal focus will drive our group leadership and group momentum and group focus. And so right now we've got so much great stuff. Rancho was exploding this week with Gina Hawk. And then Matt Goodrich set up the Long Beach meeting. We've got the San Diego meeting that's happening. Fresno, which is Central California, with Lee Reyes, is getting started. Marvin Osuna just opened up the Sacramento meeting. We've got Dan Silva opening up the Portland, Oregon meeting. And then up in Puyallup, you got Belle and Jake and Brandon and Scott and Laura. They're all up there blowing up the Northwest. And they're talking about how to open up one more Seattle meeting. And the entire West Coast is absolutely exploding. But what we're seeing is that people are taking personal leadership and not waiting for someone else to tell them what to do or when to do it. They're just going after and attacking it because they're following the rest of the Alliance leaders. So that's probably what I'm most excited about, is people are focusing on the Green Book. They're focusing on getting people into the, on the TWC, getting them into hotspots. And then they're leading by personally showing their people what they should be doing. Lee Reyes put out a post on Band the other day about how he had his very best ERS day. And it must have had like 25 ERSs. He was sending out the text messages to them. He was throwing out the pictures. I mean, he came out so excited, out of our mind, but he got that because he came to what he did is he showed up to national convention, and he actually saw Justin talk about how his organization was getting referrals after referrals after referrals, and so he started focusing on ERSs, and then he went and posted to show what he was doing, and that encourages and inspires other people to do the right things as well. So we're seeing more of that in our organization, and I'm super excited. And like my husband's sitting here, and he's like, "Are you gonna let me talk?" And I don't know. He's like, "Nah." He's just sitting there. But this is probably some of the most exciting things. I'm just so excited for what's happening. I'm so excited for the arc and what's taking place, and the focus that our team has for the ARC system. I was having a couple conversations with them, and here's what I was saying is, every time, Andy, you have put something in place that has changed the Alliance, I can't imagine what it would be like before then. Like, I remember, because we've been here for 13 years, what it used to be like before the Oasis. which was we would get emailed leads, and we would be we'd have leads stacked on the floor, and we would be faxing them to people, and it would just be a mess. And then the Oasis came out, and we were like, what are we going to do? Oh, my gosh. But then it absolutely changed our business. So we had this short period of time, this transition period, where we were freaking out because we didn't know where to find things or how to get things, and there was this transition period. But now I look back, and I can't imagine how our life would be without the Oasis system. So what I'm telling my people right now is the changes that we're undergoing here at the Alliance, it's absolutely going to transform our business, and we're going to look back, and the new people are going to look back and say, remember when we had life without the Ark? How could you imagine that? Can you imagine just having to go to one carrier after the next carrier, after the next carrier, after the next carrier to check your pending business, and then you would get paychecks deposited in your account from the carriers, and you couldn't understand them? Can you imagine that? And I mean, you're mind blown, and how much simpler you have created a system. And that's what I love, is that you are eliminating the confusion in our business. You are reducing it, you are cutting it in half and making it simpler, which allows our people, so I'm grateful because it allows our people to move faster, because you're eliminating the confusion that is in our business. And when you eliminate confusion, people move faster. So however fast we think our business is going right now, I just know that it's going to be just like off the charts, because it's just ridiculous right now. So I look at the agent levels, I look at the ARC system and all the things you're implementing, and I'm just super excited. Okay, baby, sorry. Go So that's really what we're just excited about, is we have more leaders stepping up and say, I said it all.
Jason, where are you headed next, buddy? Where are you going to be?
I think the next trip is going to be in the Midwest, but this week is going to be local this week.
Okay, so Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
Rancho Cucamonga, and then heading over to Ohio to see the Ohio team that's out there, and then he's over to the
ALA in Dallas.
Yep, the Dallas
You'll be there.
ALA. So we're super excited about that.
Congratulations to everybody made the ALA. There's so many things that she said in there. Personal momentum is how you get group momentum. First, you got to get off your butt. First, you got to pour on the gas. First, you got to do something extra so that people see you. There's so much psychology involved in success, and the first person you need to educate on it is you. So Sydney and Justin, you guys have had some crazy success. You had two young guys that just started this month that are already in the top 10 in submitted production, which you would believe they're going to lead to issue paid production top 10, and then they submit again. So you got some good momentum. And the first thing, Justin, if you just, how old were you when you started? How old are you now? And what did you change to get these guys? Because that's the critical thing, that if a person is right today in the business, if they could copy what you're doing right now. Justin Bailey.
Gotcha. Hey guys, so Justin Balick, Sydney Lagagianis, soon to be Sydney Balick, shorter. That's right, you saw the ring. So yeah, no, I was 23 when I started. I had just graduated from University of Miami, and I've been here 6 years, so I'm 29 now, which is crazy. I did give Paul Menachino a list of 250 people my first day, because that's how I was found. But I think even at 250 people, I think it might have been like my chicken list. You people that, I see Jason finally laughing. You know what that means. So it's not your best people, right? And I had a conversation with Paul Roberts at convention at NatCon just now, and I was like, dude, I don't know, if something's wrong with me, because we just hit regional manager. I think there's 15 regional managers and above in the whole company, and yet for some reason, I'm still lacking a belief somewhere that there are more people out there that are willing to do the things we were willing to do to get to the success that we're at. And I was like, am I crazy? Is there something wrong with me? He's like, bro, I go through this every day. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, that's it. So I'm going to start talking to the most successful people I know. No more dallying. And here's what had happened, Andy, is the conference ended on the 28th, right? Luke and Greg started with me on February 1st, 3 days later. Since then, they've been with us 3 weeks. Their group has submitted just shy of $100,000 in their first 3 weeks. I've never seen anything like it. So I have them. They have 4 people writing business. They have another 3 or 4 agents that are already licensed, with another 7 or 8 that are in class. And we're talking to all those people, and all of them are top people at their different insurance companies as well. And then I have 2 of my buddies. I have a friend of mine who is an old roommate. He's 27. Last year, he made $1.8 million in real estate. And I talked to him, and he has a 22-year-old brother. And he said, hey, you still doing that insurance thing? I said, yeah. And he goes, all right, my brother's going to work with you. I said, all right, I'm in. So this dude just passed his test yesterday. We had a conversation with his brother, my friend, who was my roommate that's 27, made $1.8 million last year. And we're setting up appointments with all the people that he knows in California to talk to them about IUL. I'm going to fly out there with this guy and close these down. We're looking at multiple accounts that'll be $100,000 to $200,000 in premium per person. And what I've been doing, Andy, is with these new guys, I'm just like this. Look, wealthy. To me, if I see a person that's making, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year, and I'm talking to them about, hey, you can make $500 a pop, that's not going to get them excited. But if I say, look, these crazy people that make money like you, if you simply just book appointments with them and get your license, I'll come out there, I'll take 20%, you get 80%. And if we close one of these deals, 80% of that is like 40 grand, one deposit. And they're like, okay, I'm in. So this kid, we have these appointments set up. And then one of my childhood friends, family friends, their whole family is like professional polo players. But the second born is like one of the best in the world. He's 25 years old, professional polo player. And he just got his license as well, because we talked. And he's setting up appointments with people that own polo teams and stuff. And we're going to go out there and talk to them about IUL too. Same deal, 20/80. And the way he explained these people that own polo teams is basically they're so rich and bored that they have nothing better to do than buy a polo team. So I was like, okay, let's talk to those people. So, yeah, and Java. So here's the thing is like before it would take me a year to get a leg going that does 20,000. And right now, in the first 3 weeks, we had these guys do 100,000, and then I have 2 more legs direct to me where we have appointments set up to do apps that are $100,000 in premium. So I go from taking a year to do 20,000 to in the next couple of months I'll have 3 legs that'll do around 300,000 total. It's just insane. Like Andy, once that self-limiting belief was lifted, it's just like everything luckily started happening. So I'm super fired up. Oh, and one thing that I didn't say last night that seriously, I can't see that.
Numbers. Activity page. Page 126. Yeah. You're calling them up, dude.
That's true.
It's activity.
That's true. That's true.
The only way you can do activity and fail is if you're terrible or you're talking to terrible people. The good news, you could get better. you wouldn't bat. But you're casting your pearls in front of swine. You're trying to make chicken salad out of chicken poop. I love them, but and here's what other people feel like. I'm not sharp enough to recruit these sharp people. Recruit anybody and then recruit their friends. The guy that recruited Balick's not here. He wasn't capable. But when we called him and asked him, he was in. True that, Balick?
That's true. That's 100% true. And Andy, one of the things that that I say to people too, at the hotspot a lot is I'd be like, hey, so if you had a friend who their family owned a multi-million-dollar international business and had a $400,000 education at one of the top 5 neuroscience programs in the world and studied under one of the top neurosurgeons in the country, do you think they'd be interested in selling insurance? Right, and then you would have lost out on me. So it's like, talk to everybody. Everyone's hurting, but they ain't gonna tell you they're hurting. You just gotta talk to them about it. But so one of the things I didn't say yesterday that got me super fired up, or is getting people fired up, like these 2 top guys, Greg and Luke, is that with now not having to wait for the levels, it's insane because I never thought about this before, Andy. When I first saw that, I was like, crap, we're going to lose spread so fast. But then what I didn't think about is that the people that are top producers and top, people that are putting it through the roof, they have no incentive to just blow it up day one. And these guys are going to jump like 4 contract levels in their first month. It's freaking insane. So thank you for taking the limiter off this thing. I mean, it's just perfect timing. And she's been a massive influence on that. I mean, any of y'all that knew me 2 years ago might see a little bit different. It's her.
Sydney.
Yes.
Do y'all have a date set?
We're looking at March 13th, 2020.
Okay, just talk to my event planning and make sure that we're not going to Paris, Alaska, Jamaica, Aruba, or anywhere, any trip that's free. I don't want you to miss it. You know what I mean? And some people want to come to your wedding and stuff. So just check with it. Just say, look, we're getting married. Give me some dates.
Will do. Thank you.
I was so scared when I told my wife asked my wife to talk to my daughter about that. I was like, please check our calendar. I really want to go to the wedding.
Oh my God.
And they did. They did it right. They did it. We're fired up. I got the whole week. Okay, congratulations. Oh, we should mention, I posted it on BAM, but Scott and Laura Broughton, another put a ring on it. Yay! Woohoo! This thing's getting crazy. The culture, the people, the success. I just think it's just getting ready to get started, though. Brent Swindell has been successful with us a few years and having some crazy success recently that I wish for him to share, including what you did last month, too, Brent. Brent Swindell.
Woo. Andy, God, I'm so fired up. I'm out here on the road. I'm thinking, like, it's crazy the results that are happening, what you've been laying out, and just keeping it simple. I'm so excited. So my name is Brent Swindell. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. My wife, Angelica, and my son, Brightman. I am just, like, so fired up about what's going on. One other cool thing. So talking about the arc, we were on the call last night, and just seeing how this vision that you had, Andy, of how we could operate this system that's going to draw people in. And so we're saying they're coming in 6x4x2, and it's happening all over the country. And just to hear stories like what Balick's got going on and what the Carey's got going on, and JP and Paul Roberts, like, I just get fired up, man. It's crazy. So last month, personal issue paid production did 89,000 personal, and our team has tripled in volume since January of 2018. And so we've been speaking that out loud. We're going to triple. And the crazy thing is that came to pass. And so I said it again this year. I said, hey, we're going to triple again. And my buddy Steve came to me and he said, dude, why don't we start saying we're gonna go 10 times? We're gonna get 10 times as big. And really it challenged me, but it's like with the ARC and what you're doing, keeping it simple, everybody's selling, everybody's recruiting, everybody's building, this thing's blowing up, and we're just grateful. I think that is the overwhelming theme of what I hear of the people who are successful. They just keep talking about how grateful they are for you, how much they love you. And Andy, it's happening, Bo. It's happening. It was crazy. This week I wrote 25 grand personal production. We've got a crazy crew coming on. My brother, who you guys know, he's all SEC, played football, played in the NFL for a little bit for the Rams. He's now taken that focus that he put on football, and he's putting that in the business. And so I've been working with him, growing his team. He finally recruited my mom, which sounds crazy.
Yes! Another Swindell! Yes! Another Swindell!
Mary, my mom's all fired up. And so she's
Mary.
recruiting people, and she found this guy, Steve Bedalia, who hired John Johnson, and they've had, in the last 3 weeks at Hotspots, they've had 48 people coming through. And so the cool thing is the volume, it's like we've been building the pipeline, and the volume is starting to come through. And so just seeing how that vision that you laid down with the ARC and how it protects the people that are wanting to build it, and it gives them that freedom and that peace of mind to know, hey, let's build this thing massive. You talked about last night, hey, getting big pays, and finding ways to think bigger and go bigger, and keeping it simple, man. I'm just so grateful, Andy. I really appreciate all you do, buddy.
So y'all understand, Brent and Jill are bad to the bone. I mean, what an incredible couple. He brings on his younger brother. Y'all hear what he's saying? He says that real fast, academic. He played at the University of Kentucky, was the starting tackle for the last 3 years he was there, and was academic All-American and captain of the team. You tracking what I'm telling you? That takes focus, intensity, and caring. And then he played in Canada in professional football. And actually, I think he was on an NFL team for a little bit, and then when he got hurt or they decided they wanted a different tackle, he goes to Canada and plays football. And now he is it's just, I am telling y'all, and I'm so excited about Mary. That's great, man.
Me too.
We've got, I bet you are. Family reunion, guys. 1819, 2021. Get it in people's calendars. Thinking long term, setting it up in the short term. Bailick, you boys listening? Getting people, when I listen, if you're brand new, who's this right in front of me? Over here on the right, who's that? Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Andy, what I hear from the people that are successful, they say the same things over and over. They don't have to be original. They don't have to be interesting is what people call it. I don't want to say the same thing. What we do is we are interesting because we are boring. We have Corvettes. We take our trips on we take our kids on international trips because we're boring. The same thing. See, you don't think Kid Rock is interesting because he's a great basketball player, because he's a pilot. No, he can't play basketball. He's not no pilot. He's not no good at that pinochle game. But that joker can play some music because he's boring. He does the same thing over and over again. Bailick calls. He books appointments. He's been one of the top producers in the country. Now what he said, I'm going to be a boring recruiter. And I'm going to call everybody I know. And then I'm going to call who they know. It's the boring. It's mastering the mundane. I hear these people's words. Jeremy and Dr. Phil and Swindale and Justin and Jason and Tony and Sydney, it's just boring, mundane, but you got to read it so many places in books, study it, highlight it, underline it, talk to people about the basics. I can't believe we're getting through to some people. Tim Goat said, you just got to keep telling them and over and over and over again and don't get weary in well-doing. I was like, I'm just getting tired of saying the same thing over and over again. So I get a different book and I say it in a different way, but it's the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. Guys, listen. March, think before next Thursday, what kind of contest? Let's kill it this week. Keep in mind what you put in the business will probably show up as this who paid in March anyway. So jam that pipeline up. And the thing is, 20 appointments, statistics, analysis. Woohoo! I got to rock and roll. I'm going to San Diego. Jason and Tony, I look forward to seeing you guys. And we need to think about if we want to get together with maybe tomorrow morning with the San Diego team. If people are available, text me. Maybe we'll get together at a hotel out there. And I know we're Sunday night with y'all, I think. Is that what it is? Haley's fired up about it. Okay, love y'all. Thank y'all for being on. Appreciate you. Great job. Thank y'all for coming.